I saw a post on Nextdoor. Neighbor was saying that he was having trouble with his lawnmower, making an extremely loud noise. Um, so I took it upon myself to tell him I would take a look at it. And so I stopped by and we started it up, and immediately it just made a louder than normal sound. And I immediately diagnosed it as like a muffler issue. So I reached down and I loosened the muffler, and I just felt the whole muffler assembly was just totally loose. Um, so that was the primary reason for the excessive noise. I told him that I would take a look at it. I'll probably, I told him I would drop the carburetor right here, drop the carburetor, and spray it out with carburetor cleaner to clean out those jets and all the little passageways. These little engines require the premium fuel. That's what he puts in it. If you don't use the other stuff, you'll have trouble with the carburetors clogging. So that should get this mower back in operating condition. So I dropped the air filter box. This is the first time I'm opening it. It looks clean. I'll probably, actually, it looks like it's just been replaced recently with, usually there would be some dry grass that had been sucked up in here and stuck in here, but I really don't see, there's a little bit of grass in there. I'll go ahead and just take some compressed air, lightly blow through the back of it, clean out the filter, and it'll be ready to go again. It's not going to require a new filter. Also, normally there's like a little foam pad on some of them, but it's really not required. Okay, so before I start disassembling stuff, I've got a spring here. I've got another spring here that's connected to this little guy. Spring that's connected here. And I think that's about it for the springs, just as long as I make sure I get them back into the right position. Here's the carburetor pulled off. I've got it right here. Inside of the bowl looks pretty clean. Right down here, it's hard to see. There's the jet that sucks the gas in. I'll go ahead and spray out carburetor cleaner. Make sure that jet's all clean. Be careful not to damage that needle valve on the float. And then I'll just spray inside the body. You got like little passages. I can get in the light there. There's one there. There's another little hole. There's two little holes right here, right there. And I'll spray in the gas inlet. There's no orifices on this side. Only on the intake side. So give it a couple of shots of carburetor cleaner and clean it right out. Carburetor's all sprayed out. You always want to make sure you spray out this bolt that secures the bowl. There's a little orifice right in here, and then that comes down to right here. You always want to make sure that's sprayed out and cleaned. I also made sure that that this needle valve is shutting off the gas. If you just gently blow into this orifice, into the gas inlet, and then let the float rest on its stopping point. And if you can't blow any air through it, then that means it's working as it should, and it'll stop the flow of gas when the float reaches its correct level. So you always want to be careful. This float that holds in the needle valve, it's just held in with this little pivot piece, and it could very easily slide in and out, and you got to be careful while you're maneuvering it around that this does not slide all the way out, because if you slide it out, your needle valve is going to lose. You're going to lose your needle valve. And then I think there's a spring in there also. I don't know, but you don't want to lose any of those pieces, because more than likely they'll fall and you'll never be able to find them. So just don't let this piece slide out while you're handling it. So this starter solenoid activates this. These teeth line up, and it turns this flywheel. I'm going to spray some lithium grease. These are just, I don't know, those little Teflon parts. I'm going to go ahead and grease it up, make sure it's, while I have it apart, help it actuate into position a lot better. There we go. Now it's, look at that. Job's working like butter. All right, look at this. Nice. Working like new again. So when I drop this muffler, there's this arm that comes up here from the muffler area, and it fits inside here, and this connects over to the you really can't move it yet because there, yeah, it's connected somewhat to the throttle. I'm not sure exactly what its purpose is, but I had to pull that cover back in order to get this back up into its correct position. It might be, there's a spring in there. It's probably a temperature spring, and I bet when it's cold or something, it allows more throttle, or it affects the throttle of the carburetor when it's cold. Anyway, it's a temperature related something or other, because there's a little coil spring that reacts with temperature. And they realize of the engine. That's an automatic choke. So here's the muffler guard. There's a screw bolt here that goes in. However, here there's you can see the mounting hole. However, this hole is not even big enough to accept the hardware that goes in there to secure it. Obviously there's a mating place for it, but yet the muffler guard never even had one from the manufacturer. I'll have to drill out the bigger diameter so I could install some hardware on it to secure it in place. All right, got everything done. Let's start it up. It's an electric start, which is convenient. think it actually starts up a lot easier too. It doesn't have to crank as much, from what I remember, starting it before the carburetor cleaning.